We forgot, or Chris pointed out to me, in the first name, last name swap, Orny Adams was Adam Ornstein.
That's exactly right.
Exactly Ornstein Adam, but it's close enough.
And Alex Borstein, who we were just talking about, she was Borny Alexstein. So this name's better.
Borny Alexstein.
Anyway, so we have some breaking news, at least as we record this, literally right before the show opened, in a big victory for Kevin Spacey. A New York jury has found him not liable for battery on allegations he picked up actor Anthony Rapp and briefly laid on top of him on this bed at the party in 1986. The jury of 6 men and 6 women deliberated for just under 90 minutes on Thursday. Rapp appeared stoic as the verdict was read.
Oh, he was there?
Yeah. Spacey was hugging one of his lawyers.
They're both there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Rapp alleged that Spacey climbed on top of him at a party in New York in 1986. Rapp was 14 at the time, Spacey 26. Rapp, from, Rent and one of my favorites.
He's great.
Adventures in Babysitting.
The follow-up.
That's right. Lee's good. And that there was a traumatic single event in his life. Spacey flatly denied the allegations, saying under oath they are not true. His lawyers argued that Rapp created the story in a large part because he was jealous of Spacey's success in the entertainment industry. But whatever the reason is, that one's done.
So no matter how many cases Spacey wins, it's still just going to go down. That guy molested the kids, right?
Had to be recast a bunch of times.
That's how we're going to walk away from all this, right?
Assuming all the Spacey stuff goes away eventually, I need more Spacey in my life.
Yeah.
Tremendous actor.
Tremendous. Yeah. Oh, and then that note in the corrections, Sarah Palin was never in that bikini. That was... They misread Funny or Die or whatever. So that was a Photoshop head. Right. So she was, they put her head on another. So
perfect
she
example.
Was never in that bikini, although that's what sorry.
That's how it goes down.
You are. That's how it goes down.
And that picture's hot. I remember it. So take the credit.
The thing that's weird about that picture, because somebody sent it me of the real picture and then the whatever, there's like a kind of weird guy smoking in the background that seemed like
I don't remember that.
They wouldn't be there. I don't know. Chris can find it. And the news story about the house on fire that seemed too much. Oh, yeah.
The fire was too hot for their bodies.
It's a weird way to stage. I don't know, not stage, but there's just some random guy smoking by pool.
It's weird.
Felt weird. But anyway, and then the smoking.
Yeah.
Sorry,
no, the fire.
Fire.
House fire.
News. We're all like, that can't be real.
Yeah.
That wasn't real either.
But what's it from? Do we know?
Episode of Louie.
Episode of Louie.
Oh, God. Let's hear it again, please.
10 people died in the Bronx last night due to a fire that killed 10 people in the Bronx last night during a fire.
Fire officials say all 10 people died due to the fire, which was too hot for their bodies.
So good. Oh,
yeah, that's Louie. All right.
And everything
so
snaps back into focus.
Yes.
And to be fair, we all said there's literally no way that's real, but we love it.
Fun nonetheless.
Yeah. British Prime Minister Liz Truss, who replaced Boris Johnson on September 6th this year, after he was forced to resign, she is now set to become Britain's shortest serving prime minister ever. It was 44 days. She announced that she is resigning.
That's just 4 Scaramucci's.
When she came into office, she promised a quick turnaround in Britain's economy, but her plan instead sent the economy plunging. On Wednesday, she addressed Parliament and insisted she's a fighter, not a quitter. But with very little support from her own Conservative Party, she had no choice but to step down.
I don't know what she did to fuck up the economy, but
in a month and a half.
I've yelled about this 100 million times into a microphone. Is the economy, is it that much smoke and hokum? Isn't it more of a science than we give it credit for? The economy.
That it kind of runs itself?
Well, no, not that it runs itself, but what happens is every time somebody goes, there's fields of expertise, and Mark Garagos knows the law, but he can't tell you how a trial's going to turn out.
Right.
But he can sort of go, this is a good move. That is not a good move. You know what I mean? Like things like that. And so you'll have to go, we're going to put $7 trillion in it and we're going to tamp down inflation. And then other guys go,
Yeah.
That's the exact opposite of whatever you're doing, that's going to fuck it up. And then we have an argument about it. And then you go, no, I got the experts that say what I'm doing is the way to go. And then at some point you have to raise the rates because we're spiraling into a depression. Could we just turn it into a little more of a science?
I agree with you 100%. I thought of this before. If the economy was such a science, we wouldn't be arguing over it. There'd just be the answers. You know what I mean? Just a formula to produce a good economy.
I tend to think, printing up shitloads of money and flooding the economy, that's not going to work. And there's certain things that have certain outcomes. Like you do this and then you get that. And we've been around long enough where we've done this and then that didn't work. Like we did, we'd do a thing where we went like, look, we need to start giving loans to people who traditionally wouldn't qualify for a loan, so everyone could own a house. And then you go,
pretty A to B.
How do you think that's going to work, though? How do you think that's going to work out? Right. So, okay, that's an example. We did it. We tried it. Hey, our hearts were in the right place. We wanted people who made $41,000 a year to own $700,000 houses and join the economy or whatever it is. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
And I don't feel it's that much different than like homeless problems. It's like we need to clear out some rooms at the Waldorf so these folks could have a place to lay their head. It's like, I wish. Yeah. I wish it would work.
To what end?
It just doesn't. We gave out $200 billion worth of fraud for COVID stuff. There are people in prison that were like could we just get a handful of smart people and go, this is how we have to do this. Yeah. Like this will work. Well, this won't work.
Isn't that what the chairman of the Fed is for?
Well, to that point, there have been good economies, bad economies, recessions, bubbles under this is reductive under Republicans and Democrats. No one has the answer. Right. I wish they did.
No, but here's what I'm saying. There are rules that apply equally to all things, whether it's your home or whatever it is. Like, if it's we've maxed out this credit card, well, let's get another credit card so we can pay off that credit. It's like, don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, don't do this. This thing is not going to work. We've done that enough where we could agree that this is not a good way to go and it's going to lead to more of that. And the problem with it is the chairman of the Fed is elected by the whomever, or I don't know, but it becomes a politicized position, and then they go along with the bad policy, and now we have this.
I listened to, I don't think it was Freakonomics, it could have been, but a financial podcast not that long ago, though I'm going to sure get a lot wrong. And they talked about how, like in the early 80s, you might be able to speak to this more, when everybody was desperate, nobody had a job, nobody could afford shit, that was by design. That got us out of everything. And
they will pump the brakes by raising the interest rates and stopping it.
And that seems to be where we're headed, and hopefully it won't be as bad as it was then. But like you said, if we don't do anything about it, everyone's going to hate the chair of the Federal Reserve, but it's going to get us out.
I'm just saying,
for me, but I get it.
It's not quite diet and exercise, but it's not gypsy magic stuff either. There's many economists, many books, many civilizations, many good decisions, many bad decisions. There's precedent. Yeah. We could work on it.
Yeah.
We could have sounder policy.
Yeah. Well, the fun fact of this is the ruling Tory party, that's the Conservatives, they're going through their fifth leader in 6 years.
The Tories?
Yeah.
I love that band. What was their hit?
Take It Off.
Take It Off?
That's the Donnas.
Oh. The Tories?
Who are the Tories?
I think the Tories had I think there was a band called the Tories.
It's like a new wave thing?
Thinking of the Donnas? Because there were the Donnas.
There was a band called the Tories.
Did they have a hit? Did they have a K-Rock hit?
Before my time.
Ask Nate, see if they're in the doc.
Upside Down, does that sound right?
What year would that be?
97.
No shit.
Maybe I talked to him on, was it a K-Rock song? Now we're going to have to hear it. Sorry, anyway. The Tories.
Well, while they look for that, let's talk some hot colon action from Matthew Perry. Friends star Matthew Perry nearly died from his opioid addiction, and at its worst, apparently, he popped a month's worth of pills on a daily basis.
I thought he just had that root canal before they shot the special.
That's exactly right. He opens up about all this and some like really gruesome accounts of busting a hole in his colon in a new memoir, saying his butthole had a new hole. That medical emergency put him in a coma for 2 weeks. Doctors attached him to life support to breathe, keep his heart pumping. He spent a year and a half.
Shit flowing.
That's right. He spent a half a year in the hospital and another 9 months wearing a colostomy bag. Ugh. The book is Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. He writes, the doctors told my family I had a 2% chance to live. I was put on a thing called an ECMO, which is basically just a Hail Mary at that point. He says he's glad he's clean and sober.
If I was a doctor, I'd just bump it to 10%.
Just to be
no,
nice.
no. Go the other way. You look like a hero. But he got 1% chance. However, I'm going to do my best.
I mean, he was already at 2. Apparently, 15 visits to rehab.
Wow. So he was definitely out of his mind in that Friends reunion thing.
Well, who knows when he stopped, when he got sober. I don't know how new that is. I don't know how old that is. You know, I feel remember, that was a reunion. That was recent.
Yeah, I'm saying,
So
wasn't he on something in that reunion?
He seemed out of it.
Did the Tories have a hit?
not
Or did I just make up a band
No, I
name?
mean they're an LA band. I wouldn't say they had a hit. I mean they played on like the Magic Johnson show. Or,
Maybe they opened for a band you and Drew introduced.
their debut album is called Wonderful Life. Their first single is called Gladys Kravitz.
Oh
sound
my
familiar?
God.
You know who Gladys Kravitz is?
That's from not Three's Company.
It's there. You're there.
Hold on. It's the other one.
I'll give you time.
It's the Ropers.
No.
Oh, I thought it was the Ropers.
Bewitched.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Mrs. Kravitz.
Mrs. Kravitz.
Everyone had a nosy neighbor. I don't know what happened. And I had an asshole neighbor, many asshole neighbors, but not a nosy neighbor. The nosy neighbors would come poking around all the time.
Everything okay in there?
They would be spying through the window, and then Endora would like make Dr. Bombay arrive, and they'd go there, and then the husband would like come, and she'd run the next room like Charlie, you should have seen, right, with the sports page.
Right.
in
Mrs.
front.
Achmonic from Alf would be in this category.
Sure.
That's right. Sorry, we're going to hear the Tories.
Yeah, this is Gladys Kravitz.
But they sound good. I would have remembered them.
Remember the aggressive color palette of the mid-90s?
Yes.
Yeah.
One of those guys went on to either like find Jesus Christ and like open a cult, or produce Justin Bieber and has 26 gold records. They always break off, and one guy does something, or he dies in the desert and they never found his body. Like there's always something.
Some story.
Yes.
We got to find out.
Sorry.
Well, Andy Dick is back in jail. The troubled 56-year-old comic who has likely lost count of the number of times he's been arrested. He was collared last week in California for allegedly stealing power tools from someone's garage. Officers
He was doing that to sell them. He's not.
He's on a woodwork.
He wasn't putting a deck on the house.
He wasn't DIYer.
No. He's not Bob Vila. He probably wanted to sell those. He wasn't
Interesting.
putting a deck on.
Right. Well, officers responded to a report of a home burglary and arrived to find Andy removing the tools from a home which was under construction. The owner of the home told cops he didn't know Andy and didn't give him permission to be there. He was taken into custody and charged with first-degree residential burglary. According to TMZ, he's still locked up. A week later, he's waiting for someone to pay
Out here?
his $50,000 bail.
Oh, I thought we didn't lock up people that stole stuff here.
Yeah, we do. Just the one. His last arrest comes 5 months ago. That was the last one when he allegedly hit his boyfriend in the head with a bottle.
Yeah, he's got to get sober. I mean, let's face it. This is all... You know, the thing about substance abuse, or any, probably including alcohol and anything else, is it's all pretty doable when you're 30. You still look pretty fucking good in your underpants.
Show up for work the next
You can
day.
still work.
You can rally.
You can rally, man, on 4 hours sleep. The makeup artist doesn't have to work overtime. You can do your hair's all there.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot that good young genetics can overcome. But as you get older,
Yeah.
then you sort of lose your fight with the genetic part.
Yeah. Yeah. And remember, because we showed like the live stream of when he was maybe a prisoner at that guy's apartment. Maybe it's just fucking bizarre. Like it's hard not to feel bad for the guy. He got knocked out, remember?
Yeah.
He's such a nice guy when he's sober.
Yeah.
I feel for him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jamaica's broadcasting regulator has announced a ban on all music and television broadcasts that glorify drug use and other criminal activity.
Stop.
Yeah, the government says it's cracking down on any material that could give the wrong impression that criminality is an accepted feature of Jamaican culture and society. The Broadcasting Commission of Jamaica argues that music or video that shows criminal activity, violence, and drug use will normalize criminality among vulnerable and impressionable youth. The ban also says broadcasting channels should avoid using urban slang, which pertains to anything having to do with making money or living a lavish lifestyle. Artists have criticized the ban as an attack on free speech.
Jamaica have bigger fish to fry? And isn't reggae, isn't that the
I was
thing?
going to say weed cannot be considered
Cannot
a
be
drug
weed.
out there.
I think it's quite the opposite. We need to look that up, but that is very much an offense. Like,
Really?
I think that's illegal for sure. That's what I think the whole thing is. Like, it is illegal, and everyone goes there thinking it's not, right?
Couldn't tell you.
I don't know. I stayed at the 007 Manor over
That's
there.
right.
Yeah, excuse you.
Crab. Was it crab? A custard? Oh, God. Who? Busby. No, wait a minute.
Broccoli.
Broccoli. Crab, broccoli. Yeah, I'm getting hungry. Yeah, broccoli. But, God, what's this?
Cubby broccoli.
Cubby broccoli.
What is happening with-
Yeah.
Cubby was a nickname. It was
Thank
like
you.
Alfred or something.
Yeah. He has an estate there.
Well, contrary to popular belief, it says on gov.uk, it's illegal to smoke marijuana in Jamaica.
Well,
So
not
they-
if you're on a compound. Then you get left alone. That's why you should all stay at Cubby Broccoli's place.
Duly noted.
Will do.
We looked into how much that place was a night, right?
Yeah, I remember I thought the whole place was like a
$1,100 or
yeah,
something.
but you can rent per room. You don't have to rent the whole compound together.
Yeah, went there on a man show. The man show writers retreat, and then the man show best of wraparound location. That was the biggest excuse in the world to do nothing.
You guys went full Adam Sandler making a movie. Like, where do you guys want a vacation? Let's go to work there.
This movie is set in some tropical locale.
We want to go to Jamaica, and we'll stay at Cubby's retreat. Yeah, that was awesome. Awesome. I mean, still, Jimmy and I had to do some work.
Yeah, you poor thing.
I know.
Write it off. You're familiar. I don't know if Natalia's into them or maybe was at one point, but like, you know who BTS is, right?
Yeah.
Like global K-pop sensation.
Taking care of business, one of the greatest
That's exactly right.
classic rock songs ever.
That's right.
Yeah, they're the K-pop.
The mega
Yes,
mega
yes.
superstars. Look
Yes.
at those wholesome fellas.
Yes.
So they probably are the biggest boy band in the world, but they've been ordered to put down those mics and pick up those guns because they have to serve in the military, and they're all coming of age right now. The agency behind the K-pop stars announced this week that all 7 guys will be performing their mandatory military service. The oldest, Jin, is up first. Apparently, Jin has managed to put it off for as long as possible, but they can't delay it anymore. He has to serve a full 2 years. South Korea requires men ages 18 to 28 to serve for at least 18 months. Jin's turning 30 in a few months, but he'll still have to put in his time. The other boys, they can't put it off much longer, despite some lawmakers asking for them to be exempt because you can exempt certain athletes and musicians. But BTS knew they'd eventually have to do it, and they'll pick up in 2025 after they've all served their
Do
time.
boy bands pick up once they put down?
Man band.
Those reunion shows.
Yeah, but I don't feel like they capture that lightning that they were carrying. But
I think they will.
I don't know how the Korean tax system works, but these guys are big time earners.
Oh, big
you know what
time.
I
Get
mean?
them on the road.
They're
That's right.
paying for legions of armies. Like,
Yeah.
have them go sell out the Staples Center another 10 times.
Or go to the USO or whatever their version is. They could do
Yes.
military service that way. Mm-hmm. There's just so many of them. I don't know if they're replaceable Menudo style, like interchangeable, But that's also another way to do it.
Hold on. Steve from the band the Tories is on line
Oh,
one.
my God.
Wow.
Steve from the Tories?
What's up, Adam?
How are you?
Wow.
Somehow we got on to the Tories and we're talking British Labour parties or something. And then we got on to the Tories. And then I said, isn't that a band? And then people said, I think. And then I said, I can't remember. But the Tories were a band because we saw the
The
video.
last time I saw you, we were at up in San Luis Obispo. I think you announced this. I think it was something called Polypalooza or something like that.
Poly goddamn Palooza, San Luis Obispo.
One of the highlights of your career, I'm sure.
I feel vindicated.
1997 or something.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, actually, I think it was 97 or 98. Yeah.
Polypalooza was there was a station we were on. So we had a thing. Loveline had a thing where it had huge market shares in like certain places, and Polypalooza, San Luis Obispo, or something.
Probably on KZOZ.
Yeah, they were like, you guys have an 80% share or something. Like we had all the listeners, and so they brought us out there. And we're doing our stage announcements, and that may have been the place where I introduced Drew's kids as Hanson, and the 18,000 people booed. How big was the venue? Do you remember, Steve?
It was outdoors.
Yes.
And there was probably, 1,000 people. Was it possible it was Sly 96? Does that sound familiar?
I don't remember. I remember like 3 affiliates, like 91X and Q101 and K-Rock,
I think, somehow we started getting played up there because of Mark and Brian radio show, and then somehow we ended up doing Polypalooza and connecting with you, and then Casey the concert cow was a huge fan. Do you remember her? She was on for like 2 minutes on Kevin and Bean.
Kind of remember that, and you remember other bands that were playing that venue, that event?
Yeah, I think we were on with like Dishwalla, maybe Counting Cars or Counting Cars, or whatever. I guess it's all so vague, man. That was a lot of brain cells ago.
How are the Tories still around?
We are not. We went the way of the buffalo. Everyone moved on to bigger and better things, and but it was a great run, and I run into guys like CC DeVille from Poison. I love to say, because they, we were like everyone's favorite band that nobody knew.
Yeah, I knew. It was in my head somewhere that there was the Tories and that I had known them more than just hearing them. So it was that Polypalooza thing. God, I remember that.
And we had a song called Gladys Kravitz.
Yeah,
we listened to it.
The nosy neighbor on Bewitched, and that was kind of our little K-Rock moment we had.
Did you guys get played on K-Rock for like in 97, 98?
Yeah, just briefly. It was, I don't think it was super solid, but we had a little moment. We had a top 10 MTV2 video for that song, and then our label folded like all the rest of the labels that were coming and going, and people got fired. And so it was like, we had like 11 and a half minutes of fame and fortune.
And what are you working on? What'd you move on to?
Well, I actually worked for a humanitarian organization. I mean, I did film and TV stuff. I was a Sony artist. I had a Columbia Records band called Avion. We had 2 top 40 hits. So I did a bunch more music, and then did a show with Christina Applegate called Jessie that was on NBC for a couple seasons, and then did a show with Selma Blair called Zoe. So I kind of fell into film and TV, and worked with a mutual friend of yours named Joseph. We've done some stuff together. So kind of dabbled around in the film and TV world, went to Netflix, and I'm now actually working with an organization called Convoy of Hope that deals with hunger, poverty, and suffering around the world. So we fed 5 million meals in Ukraine.
Wow.
And about 490,000 kids per day that we're feeding in 29 countries.
I always knew you were going to go on to do something great, Steve, backstage at Polypalooza back in 97. I turned to Dr. Drew and I said, that kid's got it.
Yeah, he's going places.
He's going places.
Got the it thing, yes.
Well, we'll get a plug out if you want people to go to donate to the worthy charity. Convoy of Hope.
Convoyofhope.org. Been around for 29 years. Doing incredible work to just, we've got massive amounts of trucks down in Florida right now, helping out with Hurricane Ian. Incredible organization that I'm super proud to be a part of. So convoyofhope.org, and it's pretty fantastic. The world has gone so crazy. I love listening to your perspective on what's happening in the world, because the world's just gone absolutely mad. Up is down, bad is good, black is white. I mean, boys or girls, it's crazy. And so it's fantastic to be a part of something that's just like sowing hope and love back into the madness that we are currently living in.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate the work you're doing, and good job,
What a
Max
treat.
Zapata.
That was nice. This is an incredible coincidence. You guys remember my New Year's resolution for this year to do a different charity every day for the whole year? My charity, I said it to him, but it's last minute, on September 30th was Convoy of Hope.
Amazing.
Wow.
It was about their trucks going down to bring in supplies for the hurricane
That's
victims.
awesome.
Right, now they got one more can of beans.
Look at that.
Wow. That's a crazy guy. Yeah. All right. What'd you do, Chris? How'd you find Steve so fast?
Oh, I was looking for a Tories website, couldn't find one. Then Steve had an old website, where he composes and mix, and then there's a phone number. I just called it.
Wow.
Good job.
Good job.
All right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Somebody has to say something, and that somebody is me.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, God, Polypalooza. I remember that one. Drove out there with Drew. I talked to Drew about that one. All right. San Diego, Mic Drop Comedy. That's coming up October 28th and 29th. 4 live shows there. Live pod and some stand-up. Wise Guys in Vegas coming up. And that's coming up November 2nd. Carrot Top's going to be there. Josh Wolf's going to come there, too. Rialto Theater, December 15th. Tucson. Just go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows. And the Lincoln Project. You should check out the series on Showtime. And until next time, it is Adam Carolla for Fisher Stevens and Gina Grad and Paul Bryan saying mahalo.